let's talk about recent events. We have Nadhim Zahawi, who was the William Shakespeare Tsar, MP for Shakespeare, MP for Stratford-upon-Avon, and the first man to get it was called William Shakespeare. He has defected to Nigel Farage and Reform. Now, this channel was the only truther channel that got Brexit right, showing you that all the others are shills. Brexit is a scam, a City of London scam. It is the British and the Americans who created the EU. The EU is full of Freemasons, and it's all a creation of the City of London and the Red Shields, and this is why they funded both wars, and now they're funding this third war, which will be a mixture of fact and fiction. They control all sides, they control all the banks, they control the enemy, they control Iran. They put Ayatollah Khomeini into power. They are behind all these events, including the William Shakespeare. Now, Nigel Farage, as I've shown in my video, comes from Huguenot stock. The Huguenots were beeps, and they went under that name, the Huguenots. And his family come from Frankfurt. And we know that there was a famous banking house in Frankfurt created by the Red Shields. And then his family moved to England and were employees of the City of London. His dad, and so was Nigel Farage, dealing with metals. And the family that controls the metal prices are the Red Shields. They are behind Brexit. Brexit is a scam. And you can see that the British have never left the EU really, okay? What they want is to be part of the free trade area, but they want the rules for everybody else. They want the tax rules for everybody else, but not for the City of London, because the City of London pays no tax. And all your European leaders have secret bank accounts via the City of London. All these events are controlled by the same people, and it's all connected to a country in the Middle East, and secret societies like Freemasonry. So we have Nadhim Zahawi, who set up YouGov with Stephen Shakespeare. SS. I've told you how Freemasons have this double letter name. So the first name, you have the capital letter, and in the second name, you have the capital letter again, like Stephen Shakespeare, Ozzy Osbourne, Sylvester Stallone. You'll find this time and time again. And this man, Stephen Shakespeare, actually changed his name to Stephen Shakespeare. So you have this created company called YouGov, which gave these phony opinion polls, which encouraged people to be locked down and encouraged people to take the William Shakespeare. It was government by opinion poll, and they were the ones controlling the opinion poll, Nadhim Zahawi and Stephen Shakespeare. And then Nadhim Zahawi, who's MP for Shakespeare, MP for Stratford-upon-Avon, is the Tsar, which means Caesar. And remember that William Shakespeare wrote a play called Julius Caesar. And the first man to get it was called William Shakespeare. You shake it before you spear it. It is the goddess Athena who holds the spear, the Shakespeare. Shakespeare had a hyphen in the name, SS. And Britannia is based on Athena, who also holds a spear, a trident. And Athena, in the Enlightenment, when she was adopted by all these Freemasonic lodges, was known as Athena Isis, the synthesis of the duality, a trinity. So out of a duality, you get a trinity, and then you get a synthesis. A Shakespeare man becomes enlightened. They are behind all these events. And Nadhim Zahawi has defected to Reform. We have this man, Stephen Shakespeare, who has worked for the KGB, he's worked for British intelligence, and he's worked for intelligence of that country in the Middle East, showing that they control all intelligence services. They are the ones behind it. And his real name is Kukovsky. And he changed his name to Stephen Adrian Shakespeare, SS. And he's connected to Freemasonry. And he's connected to Lord Archer, so he's Nadhim Zahawi. Nadhim Zahawi is likely a secret beep of Kurdish stock. And his family ran the Iraqi Central Bank. And obviously the Iraqi Central Bank was created by the Red Shields and the British. They control all the banks, all the oil companies. And so Kukovsky also has beep heritage. They are behind all these events. Their religion is a dualistic religion. And so they control both sides because they're after the synthesis, which is Lucifer, which is enlightenment. And this is how they control us, through the dialectic. This is why you have football with two opposing teams. But they control both teams. The same in politics and lots of other genres. They are behind all the events. And his name is a beep name. And we had this shill. Fair play now. The powers that shouldn't be. This shill. Who told people to vote reform. So they're telling you to vote for a system which is absolutely corrupt. There is no democracy in the UK. And this exposes the truth movement as a shill movement. They are all shills. As you can see, all the connections to this guy and to other people. They're the ones behind the Shakespeare, and they're the ones revealing the harms of the Shakespeare to you. They want to create a new age out of these events and out of this Third World War, which is coming. And they are behind the truth movement. So this shill told you to vote reform. And this shill, David Clues, who hasn't got a clues, told his listeners to vote reform. Go and watch my videos on David Clues, the third Proclaimer brother. They are all shills. All Dassom shills. The truth movement is a shill movement. David Icke, Richard D. Hall, all of them are shills. Here is me in 2019 on my first ever channel predicting everything that happened with Boris Johnson and Brexit. I predicted it all. I knew it was a scam from the start. It is all a scam. And Boris Johnson wrote the Churchill Factor, and this is when I knew that Boris Johnson would become Prime Minister and he would be our war leader. He's already our war leader with the Ukraine thing, but Boris Johnson will come back. Boris Johnson will be our war leader. He's the Churchill Factor. I predicted everything with Boris when everybody said he was a clown on Have I Got News For You. You can see it in this video. Made in 2019 on my first channel, and I got Brexit all right as well. Unlike some Poundland retard coward who calls themselves the Shield Channel. The most dumb, unoriginal, retarded name. Now, what's interesting is that we have some very important dates coming up. We have a planetary alignment on the 28th of February. And this is a rare planetary alignment. Very rare. The rarest in recent times. Now, you will notice that we had a conjunction of Jupiter and Saturn before we had the Crown Bug events. Then, during the Crown Bug, when they gave us the William Shakespeare in the year 2000, there was a grand alignment, which was very rare. Then we had another alignment on the 22nd of June, which was also even rarer. And on that alignment, it was the 24th of June 2022. 24th of June was Midsummer's Night Dream, a play by Shakespeare. On June the 24th, 1717, was the creation of Freemasonry. 1717, June the 24th. Midsummer's Night Dream, a play by William Shakespeare. They are the secret writers of Shakespeare. They are the Rosicrucians. Then they created America. The Rose Cross is the cult of Isis, the cult of Lucifer, the cult of alchemical enlightenment, which the beeps follow and which the Freemasons follow. You have it on the flag of the country in the Middle East. That is the symbol they have there. It is a symbol of alchemy. And this is why they control both sides, because they believe you can only have man's enlightenment through a synthesis of evil and good, of the opposites. When the opposites are synthesized, you get enlightenment, and man goes further up the ladder to understanding man's mission, God's mission to man. And these people seem to believe that a higher intelligence through man's pineal gland has been behind the ascent of man. So we have the planetary alignment on the 28th of February. Now, why is this important? Because in 2017, 300-year anniversary of Freemasonry, the Economist magazine, which is owned by the Redshields, created this magazine cover, and we have the alignments here, planetary alignments, and we have the last planetary alignment on the 28th of February, and we have a crack in America. We have Trump. Trump has become king. He is like Julius Caesar. There was a play in New York in which Trump played Julius Caesar, and he was assassinated. So there was a character of Julius Caesar, and it was Trump, and he got assassinated. The actor was playing Trump. He is Julius Caesar. America is based on ancient Rome. It's becoming a dictatorship. It's becoming an empire, changing from a republic to an empire. He is the Julius Caesar character. The Rosicrucians wrote Shakespeare. The Rosicrucians created America. This is all a script, and he is here like king. And he wants to invade Greenland. And it seems that the invasion of Greenland, that there's going to be some kind of natural disaster, so-called natural disaster, which I believe will either be an artificial meteor or La Palma or a mixture of both. A seismic shock that's going to end the current system, and then we'll be at war with China, and they will invade Taiwan. And we have the Tower card. If you squint your eyes, it looks like a volcano with water coming out the side. So it seems that these events are connected to the planetary alignments, and the last major planetary alignment will be on the 28th of February. And remember, we've had three major planetary alignments, the Trinity. And then on March the 3rd, 3-3, you have the full moon, blood moon, solar, lunar eclipse. And when Trump invaded Venezuela, it was the 3rd of January. And you had the moon closest to the Earth on that day, and it was a full moon. And you had the Earth closest to the sun on that day. So you have the sun and the moon on the columns of Freemasonry. You had a 3-3. So it seems this alignment seems to be connected to the Tower card collapsing. And as I said, this alignment is on the 28th of February, the last rare alignment, the third one. This seems to be Comet 3iAtlas, which I believe is a man-made object. Your third eye, encounters of the third kind. And this is because they believe a higher intelligence has been behind the ascent of man. And Steven Spielberg, who created E.T., and E.T. points to the boy's pineal gland and says, "I'll be right there." The poster is based on Michelangelo, God giving life to Adam, and in Michelangelo's painting, God looks like a brain, and where his hand points out, it looks like the pineal gland. And then E.T. with sunflowers goes on the spaceship, and he's followed by the boy's dog. The dog is Isis, the alchemical formula. And then the dog returns to the boy, showing you that with this alchemical formula, man can retrieve the knowledge of God through this alchemical formula. And what it indicates is that through these pineal gland rituals, we can communicate with other beings. And Steven Spielberg, SS, has just made a new film called Disclosure Day, DD. The two columns of Freemasonry. They like to use the double letters, 3-3, and the names, Steven Spielberg, SS, Stephen Shakespeare, SS. They are behind all these events. This was made 300 years after the anniversary of Freemasonry in 2017. They own the magazines. They own the banks. They're telling you what's coming here. So we have the last planetary alignment, 2026, with the first in 2000, where you had the Crown Bug, the William Shakespeare. Then in the middle of it, you had the 2022, 24th of June, very rare one, which was on the 24th, Midsummer's Night Dream, the creation of Freemasonry. And now, on the 28th, we have the last one, the last major alignment, the third one, on February the 28th. And then we have a lunar eclipse on 3-3, 3rd of March. Now let's go to IPEC Code 2, because it seems to show the invasion of Iceland by Trump, and that they are behind all these events. Projects for the New American Century. We know that the CIA funded Bin Laden. Bin Laden was buried at sea. He's summoning the waves. We have the lunar eclipse here. Now we have a meteor on his beard. And we seem to have La Palma on the bottom of the apple here. So is it possible that Trump invades Greenland around the time of the planetary eclipse? Or could we have this big event? The events are building up, which will, as I say, will lead to war with China. So you have here the duality split in two, and then you get a trinity, and then you get new life. You get a synthesis. This is what the film shows us. And then at the end, the Christ consciousness, the CC33, is released, the pineal gland. This is created by Freemasons. Now let's go to Avi Loeb, because Avi Loeb reckons there's going to be a rare alignment with 3iAtlas, your third eye, which I believe is a man-made object, because Johns Hopkins University in 1984 created an artificial comet. Johns Hopkins University was responsible for the Crown Bug, the management of the Crown Bug, and Israeli Avi Loeb, as well as Israeli Uri Geller, and Uri Geller is saying that Trump will invade Greenland, and that then this will trigger a third world war with China, exactly what I've been saying. They're both connected to Dassom, and Avi Loeb is saying that on the 22nd of January there is an alignment with this Comet Atlas, which is absolute nonsense. So that's another date to look out for, the 22nd of January. A 11 date, 11-11-1. So look out, a possible date there, with an alignment or with this third eye Atlas. But what I want to bring your attention to here is the alignment, the planetary alignment. We have the last major planetary alignment on February the 28th, the third one in recent times. Then we won't have them for another, say, 40 years. Thank you.